Ah, the Roman Empire, conquerors of lands, builders of roads, and pioneers of public bathing. That's right, folks. Today we're diving into the world of Roman baths, a place where hygiene met hedonism and everyone was in the splash zone. Picture this. You're a common laborer in ancient Rome. It's 4 in the afternoon and you've just wrapped up a 10-hour shift building aqueducts. You're excited to take the rest of the day off and maybe give an impassioned speech about who should be emperor. Where are you going? Why, the baths, of course. For the equivalent of an entire day's paycheck, 1 denarius, you gained access to a sprawling complex of relaxation and socialization. While the Romans left little evidence of how they constructed their baths, except for some remnants and ruins, archaeologists have been able to create replicas of what the baths may have looked like. They were complex and ornate structures that consisted of multiple rooms to ideally prepare clients for the bathing experience. These bathhouses were the real deal, offering a variety of facilities. You would start with the Apodyterium. This was a fancy term for the changing room. Think of it as the locker room, but with more togas and fewer gym socks. After stripping down, your next stop was the Tepidarium, a warm room designed to acclimate your body before entering the baths. In here, a Roman would typically get oiled by a slave if they wished to head to the Palaestra. The Palaestra was an optional stop for overachievers. Here you could wrestle, lift weights, or play ball games. Essentially, it was just a gym, except your personal trainer was some guy named Gaius trying to suplex you into the dirt. Now you may ask, why would Romans get oiled up in the tepidarium before going wrestling? Why not use hand chalk to soak up the sweat and increase friction? Well, the simple answer is that hand chalk was only invented in the late 19th century, so we're just a couple thousand years too early. Despite the lack of chalk, the lack of grip did not mean a lack of desire to grasp other oily men, so the wrestling was often done in sandy areas to compensate. After working up a sweat in the yard, the Romans would get the dirt and sweat scraped off of them with a strigil, a small razor-like object. Once you were clean, the next stop was the Sudatorium or Laconium, superheated rooms for dry and wet sweating where Romans would often make arrangements to meet their friends. Fun fact, the Laconium is a more modern spelling and the original Latin term is Laconicum. The official history behind the word is related to Laconia, a region in ancient Greece. Laconia's capital was Sparta, and Spartans were known for their rigorous military culture and discipline. The Laconicum was named after them, with the idea being that the heat in the room is similarly harsh and Spartan-like. But I would like to present a much more credible theory. Laco meaning lake, cum meaning come. After the oily men part, do you really need much more convincing? Moving on, Romans would head to either the Caldarium or Frigidarium. The Caldarium was a hot room with steaming pools, while the Frigidarium was the cold variant with chilly plunge pools. While there was no specific order to these rooms, most opted for the Caldarium first. Now you might wonder, how did they keep these rooms toasty? Enter the Hypocaust system, a marvel of ancient engineering. Furnaces burned wood, heating air that circulated beneath the floors and within the walls, turning the bathhouse into a giant ancient radiator. But please do remember, it's important you don't confuse the hypocaust with the other word that starts with an H and ends in cost. An easy foolproof way to differentiate between the two of them is that one of them left behind a historical landmark, while the other left nothing but a jar on your shelf. The baths weren't just for scrubbing off the day's grime. They were the original hangout spots where Romans went to relax, catch up on the latest gossip, or often even to conduct business with clients. As a result of this, it was not uncommon for a Roman to spend his whole day at the baths. Imagine them as an ancient version of a coffee shop, but with more steam and fewer soy lattes. However, not everything was as pristine as the marble statues would lead you to believe. With so many bodies in the water, hygiene could be questionable. Think less spa day and more human soup. Archaeological findings suggest that bathhouses were hotspots for lice, fleas, and other unwelcome guests. So while you might leave feeling relaxed, you could also be leaving with a few extra hitchhikers. But despite the occasional grime, Roman baths were a cornerstone of daily life, showcasing not only the empire's engineering prowess, but also that they knew how to just kick back and relax. So, next time you're enjoying a modern spa day, pour one out for the Romans and be grateful that you're not soaking in a giant human stew seasoned with the essence of toga clad strangers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your girlfriend that you were just thinking about the Roman Empire.